G'day folks, welcome to another edition of Talking SANFL. My name is Andrew Hayes, this is Daniel Menzel. Men's, we are getting closer and closer towards the finals. Let's go through a bit of a round 11 review. We'll start with West Adelaide v Port Adelaide. This was the result that we expected, Port to get the chocolates, but it was a tight game.
It was a tight game. West Adelaide have been in a lot of the games they've played in this season, and it's been really impressive to see how they've gone about things. And Port had a pretty good list in. Ended up getting up 13-14, 92 to 12-10, 82. So a 10-point win. Nearly an upset here, but boy, we saw a few upsets across the weekend.
Yeah, we did, and we'll go with the next game. In saying that, South Adelaide and the Eagles are probably at very, very similar stages in the season, but I think a lot of people probably would have expected the Eagles to get the job done. It wasn't so.
No, it wasn't. It was back at home for the Eagles, so with 7 of the last 8 games at home, you'd expect them to push for and make the finals. But South Adelaide come out, played really well. It was impressive ball movement that they had throughout the game, and they ended up getting a 3-goal win. Some inaccurate kicking late cost the Eagles, but yeah, one that definitely got away and has put South Adelaide back into contention of finals.
The next 2 games are the ones you're talking about with unbelievable upsets. I'm not sure which one is bigger. It might be this one, Norwood taking on Sturt, and Norwood, their season is well and truly alive. And the other end of the scale, Sturt going through a bit of a flat patch.
Yeah, they are. And I called this game and I was there live, and I called it live that in that second quarter they dominated. They were in front by 15 inside 50s going into half time. But they kicked 5 behinds in the second term to Norwood's 2 goals. And what that meant was going into half time effectively it was less than a kick. And I remember thinking and said too, this might cost Sturt their inaccurate kick in a goal. And they kicked 3-12 on the day to lose 3-12-30 to 9-5-59. But yeah, Norwood are 3 in a row and starting to roll.
Sturt absolutely will still come good. There's still plenty of time left in this season to have a real good charge, and obviously they're well placed sitting at second. Next game as well, another upset. We've been talking about each and every week that North Adelaide, too talented to not do something. They've been struck down by injury throughout the whole season, but this was another big upset. Adelaide Crows go down to North Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide got jumped effectively by North Adelaide, 6 goals to 1 at quarter time, and they pegged them back throughout the game, kicked 1-6 in the last term, the Crows. So again, inaccurate kicking cost them, and they went down by those 9 points. 7 goals 15, that definitely hurts, and it hurt them on the scoreboard.
We'll speak about this a little bit more in our talking point of the week, but Central District's coming up against the mighty Glenelg, and geez, the Bays are red hot at the minute.
They are red hot. They kicked 7 in the last term to run out 18-12, 120 to 8-9, 57 winners. So Centrals haven't won away from home this year. It's concerning, but at the same time, Glenelg's not going to be the place to do it. They are rolling as well as anyone.
We'll have a look at the ladder and we'll speak about Glenelg again. It just doesn't look like they're going to lose anytime soon. Followed by Sturt, of course, early season good work keeps them inside the top 3. And that's what we've said for the last sort of few weeks. The top 3 still looks pretty locked, in saying that Port are making a bit of a charge in 4th. The Dogs hanging around in 5th position, but North is probably going to make a bit of a late charge too.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're in 6th position with that important win on the weekend. But again, we talked about how close this competition is. The Eagles and South are 4 wins and 7 losses. 1 win next week puts them back into the top 5 potentially. And then West Adelaide with 3 and 8, and Norwood still in contention at 3 wins and 8 losses. 3 on the trot, and the Redlegs, they are coming.
Seems unbelievable, doesn't it, that at the end of round 11 we can talk about the team that's on the bottom of the ladder and say they're absolutely making a charge and can still play finals. That's how tight the competition is at the minute.
It really is, and that's what the message would be from Twig Rawlins, is that we've won 3 in a row. We beat Sturt away, which is arguably the hardest road trip in the game. They are coming.
All right, that was our I Perform Insight. Time now for our SANFL summary, brought to you by Rejuvenate Massage and Fitness. Moment of the week, and let's talk about the Roosters. That opening term was unbelievable.
Yeah, they've struggled to kick a score this year, and in particular the last 7 or 8 weeks where they really struggled. And to kick 6 goals in the first term, it just catapulted them into a really strong position. They didn't kick as many in the final 3 quarters, but that opening term was the moment of the week. It's what got that upset in brewing, and it certainly came to fruition with a really important win to put them back in touch with the top 5.
Talking point of the week, we spoke before about the Bays and just how far ahead of everyone else it seems at the moment. In particular, I mean, it was Sturt a couple of weeks ago, who are currently second on the ladder. They absolutely thrashed them. Can anyone get near the Bays at the moment?
I mean, Adelaide's maybe the only one that can. They lost by 2 points to them when they played them there. We know that a strong Adelaide team can match it with anyone, but No, the answer is no. They beat Centrals by 63 points on the weekend at home. They beat Sturt by 105 points only 3 weeks ago. So, and then they did it against West Adelaide as well by a comfortable 40-odd points. So their last month of footy has been incredible, and they are going to be hard to beat. If you're picking right now, if you're a betting man with Top Sport, and they put a market up, will Glenelg lose another game? I think you'd almost have to say no, they won't.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Very, very strong indeed. And our start of the week as well, Sturt, goal-kicking yips after quarter time.
Yeah, they 2 goals, 2 at quarter time. They led by 5 points, but they finished the last 3 quarters with 1 goal 10. Now, you're not going to win many games of footy when you kick 1 goal 10 in 3 quarters of footy, and as a result, that cost them the game against Norwood.
Yep. All right, let's get into our tips and predictions. Thanks to the good folks at Top Sport, of course. We'll start with the clash at Mornteam Oval. Of course, that is your Eagles taking on Port Adelaide. Always tough against Port Adelaide, particularly at the minute. They shouldn't have too many changes. In saying that, Lycett goes out, so Vizentini probably gets another game. There might be a few little tweaks. Ratio Fantasia probably comes back.
Yep.
He's been missing with a hamstring injury. But that'll be a good game, given as well that it's at Woodville. Yeah,
it certainly will. This fixture last year was a bit of a blowout. The Eagles won that one by 40 points against Port Adelaide, and I think we'll see a better team in today from Port Adelaide for this weekend. It's a line ball game, this one for mine. Obviously, I'm going to back the Eagles in, but Port's form's been pretty good.
This next one as well, I mean, I'm not brave enough to say that perhaps the Redlegs could cause an upset against the Bays at Cooper Stadium, but I'm more confident that it'll be a better game than it probably was 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Absolutely. I think back at home for the Redlegs, they won 3 on the trot. The message this week for the Redlegs will be that if they win this week, they will play finals, and that is just the sheer reality of it. If they can knock off Sturt away and then Glenelg at home, their last 5 or 6 games are against all the teams above them on the ladder, so they can run the ladder and easily climb it. So it's a huge game for the Redlegs. In saying that, Glenelg are unbelievable at the moment and will win.
So this next one's interesting as well. It's going to be out at Noarlunga. South Adelaide taking on North Adelaide. Both sides need a win. It would seem the Roosters have found some form as well, but so have the Panthers.
They have, and so as you have gone 2 tips clear in the tipping with backing Norwood on the weekend, which was a huge pick, I'm going to let you go first on this one because I want to tactically maybe pull 1 or 2 back in the tipping competition. So we both went the Eagles.
Okay, yes, we both went the Eagles.
And we both
gone the
Glenelg.
Bays. I'm going to tip a draw for this one. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm going to go. The form of the weekend has me optimistic that the Roosters are going to very much charge. So I'm going to say North Adelaide.
With that in mind, I'm going to go against you and go South Adelaide. It cost me last week because I was going to back Norwood, but I will go with South Adelaide in this one. So we've got one different. Let's move to West Adelaide against Sturt. Your former club, surely you're going to back them in here that they can get the job done at home at Hisense Stadium against the Double Blues.
You're trying to gaslight me into picking the blood so you can pick Sturt and potentially get one. I think this will be a good game. I think it'll be quite nice and tight. I still think Sturt are going to find their feet and find that early season form again and charge towards finals. The Bloods, I think if you underestimate the Bloods, no matter who you are, you could potentially come undone. I think it's going to be close, but I've still got Sturt. Yeah,
look, I'll stay with Sturt as well. And speaking of gaslighting, Centrals haven't lost. They've only lost 1 game, actually. Sorry, I'll take that back, at home this year. So they are very strong at home.
There's a twist on that, though.
It's at Newry. So which way would you like to go? Newry has the game this weekend between Centrals and Adelaide. This was a great game. The reverse fixture earlier in the year at Ex-Convenience Oval where Centrals got up with a Nick Lane goal just before the siren. So probably going to be a close affair. Which way are you going to go with this one?
Yeah, look, do you know what? This could get you back in the game. I'm going to back the Dogs in this one. Okay. Maybe the Crows going through a little bit of a form slump. Maybe I'm trying to talk the Dogs into it, but this could make things a little bit interesting in terms of our tipping. So I'll go the Dogs.
I love that you back that because Adelaide kicked 7-15 on the weekend. They should have beat North Adelaide. I think they'll bounce back. Centrals haven't won away from home, and although it's a home game, it's not an Ex-Convenience Oval, so the Adelaide Crows will win this game.
All right, it's everyone's favourite time of the week. It's time for my multi, thanks to Top Sport. 3 games to choose from, or 3-leg multi we're going to go with this time, men.
So you won one last week. It said the Eagles were the only team that let you down. So is that going to affect this week's multi?
I think it will, and we'll start there. Eagles taking on Port Adelaide. It's going to be here, which you would think obviously swings in the favour of the Eagles, but Port Adelaide looking very good. They're going to get Orazio Fantasia back, and maybe 1 or 2 others. Vizentini, if he doesn't play. Sam Hayes was very, very good on the weekend in the ruck, so they're still well stocked there. So first part of my multi is going to be Port Adelaide. Could be close, but I've got Port Adelaide to win.
So you've tipped the Eagles in the tipping. I like it. You're hedging your bets here effectively, which I'm not sure whether the Top Sport reckons that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they are a great partner of ours. And so I don't mind the call here to go Port Adelaide because the Eagles burnt you last week. So where are you going to go next week?
Well, I think sometimes when you tip, you've got to tip with your head versus sometimes when you give some predictions, you go with your heart.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Next part of it, Red League's taking on the Tigers. I still think this is going to be a really good, close game, but how could you possibly, in any situation, tip against the Bays, no matter where it is at the moment? So maybe it's closer than we thought it would have been a little while back, but I've still got the Bays to win, so that's the second part of the multi. And the last part, I've been pushing for the Roosters all year. And finally, it looks like they're going to start coming good towards the final. So I've got the Roosters to beat the Panthers, even though it is at Noarlunga. So 3 legs. I've got Port, the Tigers, and the Roosters to get the job done in a 3-leg multi.
That should give some good odds there, thanks to Top Sport. We'll see how you go this week. Let's see if we can get back on the winning track after a near miss last week and see if we can get that multi to come up this weekend. Enjoy the SANFL footy over the weekend. We're back to the 5 games, 5 really good games to see this weekend.